Sorry.
Live?
Yes, we're live. Sorry. The
we're
dog was on my cord.
I like it. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. This is Adrian from A.M.O.K. And tonight's show is brought to you by the brand new Strawberries and Cream Dr. Pepper.
I wish it was.
We're really proud to have such a heavy duty. They're not giving me anything. They didn't even give me the Dr. Pepper. I had to buy it myself.
All right. They didn't give us nothing, so they're not sponsoring anything.
That's all right. Sponsor. Wouldn't that be nice?
It would.
I think Adrian is sponsoring Dr. Pepper right now.
Right
yeah.
now.
There you go.
There you go.
Have you tried this stuff yet?
No, I haven't, but I heard about it.
It's yummy.
Good deal. Tonight is the K's turn.
Oh, wait a minute. That's right.
It is Pam's turn.
It is. And I am super excited. We have Jason Roberts coming to us from Mays, Kansas with Road Trip Paranormal.
Woohoo!
Kansas too.
Welcome to the chaos.
You joining in the chaos tonight, Jason.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. So just to get started, tell us a little bit about your group. When did you get started? What got you started in paranormal?
Let's see. I've loved the paranormal since I was a little kid. I was probably the only one going to the library, checking out all the books and stuff. At least in my hometown. Just grew up with it, and then right around the time that the TV show Ghost Hunters came on, long time ago, fell in love with that show. And then my brother, for my birthday, decided to take me to Atchison, Kansas to do a public event over at it was a theater, but it was a former church.
Oh, cool.
Plus we did the trolley tour, we did a cemetery tour. But then we were going to do an investigation with a team that was already there and set it up. And I had a great time. Had no idea what to expect. Had never done anything like that before. And after that night, we had stuff that occurred right in front of us, and I loved it.
Oh, awesome.
And I was hooked ever since. And then I saw an advertisement from Ghost Tours of Kansas. Looking for a tour guide for Wichita.
Oh, cool.
And I absolutely hate public speaking. At least at that time I did. Terrified of it. But I jumped on it, and I became her tour guide for 14 years. And I just ran that every single year. Got it down to the point where I just winged it most of the time, because the stories were just there all the time in my head. And everybody who took the tour with me always said, well, you change it every single time. It's never the same. I'm like, I know. It's just when something hits me with history or historical stuff, I intertwine it with the paranormal and stuff like that. So
that's pretty much how I handle life. I just wing it.
Sounds about right. Like tonight, me winging it. Yeah.
I don't seem to have a plan. It just happens.
That's awesome. So I know that your group just recently held a pretty big event out in Dodge City. Can you tell us about that?
So we go to the Santa Fe Depot Theater. It's just kind of across the street a little bit from Boot Hill Museum, which we actually are the only team that's actually investigated Boot Hill Museum. It was kind of a luck chance to do that, because they absolutely don't want it to be known as haunted, but they needed money, so they auctioned off tickets, so we got a chance to do it. But the Depot Theater is kind of our favorite spot when it comes to going out to Dodge, just because we've been going there since 2012. We've gotten used to the activity that's there. We've got so much audio and video and photograph there, and I love it there. It's what started off with just the team going there. I ballooned it into doing a big event every time we go. So We break all the people up. We have refreshments. We make a pretty big deal, pretty big fun night for it.
Cool.
Okay, well,
I haven't been-
we won't tell anybody about this because you want to keep it secret unless you want us to.
No, I absolutely.
I'm kidding, Jason. Go ahead, Pam. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Now I lost my train of thought now that you said go ahead. How funny. Actually, Jason, the way that I ran across your group was when you guys were advertising for the ghost tarots and tacos in Wamigo. And that just sounded too fun to miss out on. And unfortunately I had to, but can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, so that kind of ballooned. So since 2012, basically, I started in 2009 with a different team, which is basically the same team. We just kind of morphed into two different groups. I do more of the public stuff, whereas my buddy Leo does more of the private stuff because he's like, I don't really want to do public events. But so in Wamigo and everywhere else, we always did everything for free. And it was the money that for tickets went to the location. But I'm trying to move up in the world. So after about, 15 years or so, I kind of wanted to do more. So I hired a marketing and production guy. And so we're becoming more of a business. And so I upped the price on things, and that kind of changed things there in Wamigo. But there's so many businesses in town that still wanted to work with me. And it's like, let's have fun with this. So the winery, Toto's Tacos, and we got to investigate both places, upstairs, downstairs, and then the Masonic Lodge.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and the Masonic Lodge, which was weird that we were allowed to go in there, and it's still a fully active Mason Lodge, and so it's all still set up, and I've never seen one all still set up with their books out. Yeah, and women are not supposed to be in there, so the EVPs that we were getting were pretty interesting on that aspect.
That's awesome.
You said the EVPs were getting pretty interesting.
Yeah. We put the spirit box on top of the Bible.
Oh, I bet.
And it's like a very old Bible signed by members going way back when. Yeah. And there was women that were in there sitting on the thrones. And
oh my gosh.
So through the spirit box, we were getting a lot of get out of here, leave, get out, move,
That's pretty cool.
So, but no, it was fun. People got to buy wine, do wine tasting while investigating. The taco place was serving nachos and everything while we were investigating. So why not? It was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when you guys investigate, what is some of your favorite equipment to use?
Oh, geez. Everything.
Right.
The more the merrier on equipment. We usually have Dan and Jake on my team. They have bought a ton of equipment. They spent a lot of money of their own buying stuff. Like every time there's new tech out, they have it. We have 3 SLS cameras. We have REM pods everywhere. We have, oh God, a lot of different gadgets everywhere that we place out and about. I love motion sensors. Just placing those anywhere and just seeing those go off. I got one of those like EMF ropes that you place in the background. If anything gets near it, the whole rope lights up.
Yeah, I've heard about those. I think, do they use those on Kindred Spirits?
Nice.
Something like that.
They use something like that.
That is cool.
One of my teammates was talking about them. That's what made me.
Yeah,
I want one.
I like it. Cool. I do like using the portal on Android phones. I don't know if you guys have heard that one.
Oh yeah, I got that. I have that one. It's nice. But I am a little iffy about the portal on the Android phones, but actual portal box. Now that is amazing. Ken has one of those, and he had it at the place that we can't say the name of. But it was pretty amazing not to have all that white noise going off. And but I have used the portal and it has been accurate, but there are times that I kind of wonder.
Exactly. We do too. It's kind of, we take it with a grain of salt, but sometimes there's voices that come through that it's like, and how they're answering.
Exactly.
Because we've been starting to do well, we call it the Frank's box test. It's called something, everybody has a different name for it. Kindred Spirits uses it where they put the headphones on, they plug it into and they cover their eyes and they listen and just spit out what they're hearing.
Kind of an Estes method.
Estes method.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. I end all the events now doing that. I'll get Dan and Jake under it, and I'll sit back and I'll ask questions. Next thing I know, I'm having a conversation with multiple people, and sometimes they'll have a conversation with each other. They have no idea what's going on, and I have to wake them up, and they're just drained, and they're like, I don't know what just happened.
On our team, I'm the one that ends up doing that usually, and it is draining. It is, and you don't know what anything pertains to when you're doing it.
I don't think you want me doing it because I tend to make words out of things I think I hear because I'm deaf in one ear.
No.
So it would probably be hilarious, and we could probably have it as a comedy act. But I should probably ask the questions.
I love doing it. I love asking questions, and I try to be as comical as I can sometimes, and it'll come out that way. I've been told a couple of times that my conversation is shit. So I'm like, okay, fine. Somebody else.
Funny.
Yep.
The spirits tell you that, or your guests?
Oh,
no, not the guests. The guests are just like listening. But no, the spirit will say, your conversation is shit.
I have had that too. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm short.
Yeah, they call you
You're
names.
short?
I'm short. So at Dodge, when I was walking around the stage, because I asked, are you up here on the stage? And kept saying, yep, you've seen me. I said, okay, where are you? And I said, am I getting close? So I kind of walked back behind the stage, and the guests are just kind of watching from the seats. And he's like, the spirit just goes, stand up. I'm like, I am standing up. What are you talking about? But we ended that session with a woman's grandmother or mother coming through. And she got pretty emotional because he was saying everything that she would say, and how she would say it. And she was just like, that's spot on. I can't believe that.
That's amazing. When stuff like that happens, that's cool. Yeah. Very cool.
We used it at the Fee House in Arkansas. We were there we were there about a month after Kindred Spirits was there. And while doing that, we were doing the duel. I had Dan and Jake doing it again. One at either end of the hallway, and through the conversation, I got it all live on Facebook Live, but don't know how great the footage is. Plus, it was about 4 a.m. when we finally did
it. That's when it starts getting rough usually.
But when they were arguing back and forth, they ended up getting what appears to be the admitting to murder, basically.
Oh, wow.
The guy who built the house wanted the family out, and Mr. Fee came through over here on Jake's end and said, tell him what you did. Tell him what you did. He goes, what? I didn't do anything. I'm a Christian man, He goes, tell them what you did. You pushed her. And he goes, yeah, I did. Right on her head. You pushed her right over the railing. And there is a document of the woman, she fell over the railing at the top and landed on her head and died.
Oh my gosh.
I know it was just weird.
Oh my.
Nothing we
Wow.
can do about it, but at least I
Right.
mean he full on admitted to, yeah, I pushed her.
Wow.
And possibly he even killed the
Wow.
daughter too with the poison, that she died on the landing when she went upstairs arguing with her brothers. They were adult children, because the mom had died. I think they didn't believe in medicine. And this was, I think, oh God, when was this? I think it was like the 20s or 30s.
Hmm.
Mom died from a fire in the house. Her dress got too close to the fireplace, and
Oh.
Oh, that's
she
terrible.
died of her injuries. But so the children were arguing about what they could have done or whatnot, and the daughter says, "I'm going upstairs. I have a headache. I need to get some medicine." She goes upstairs, grabs her bottle. As she's drinking it, she comes walking down the stairs, falls down on the second floor landing, dies horribly because what she actually took was poison or acid or something, and
Oh.
died right there.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So yeah, we we had quite a bit of activity there at that place. So if you guys ever get a chance to go there, and it's in Little Rock, it's a
Oh,
fascinating.
sign me up.
Yeah, it's not too
Now,
far.
to warn you, there's no. We had to go find bathrooms. We had to like the house to go find bathrooms, and the house is falling apart because the owner's not taking well care of it.
Oh
Oh
no.
no, that's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now
That is sad.
you've been obviously been able to go to a lot of different places. Out of everywhere you've been, do you have a favorite?
um. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
one that you can talk
Yeah.
about, or
Well,
is it anonymous?
no. The book that you have, Brandon Callahan's book.
Yes. Yeah. I
Yeah.
have it here. We'll have to plug it for, oh, you can't see it,
What-
man. Here in front of me.
Oh,
There we go.
yeah. The Agony That Remains. That story. We went there. Of course, Brandon and his friend and our friend Jeremiah went there first, and they are the ones who started Road Trip Paranormal, and then they eventually handed it to me. But they were just told about these two brothers that live on the land out in Tahlequah, that is from the Trail of Tears. So that land is theirs from generation to generation, and a lot of bad stuff has happened to them living in the house, growing up. So when I finally got to go, I was being warned about demonic,
Mhm.
lights in the sky, lights in the woods, voices, shadows, Bigfoot, witches, little people, little creatures, all kinds of stuff they were warning me about. And I'm like, okay, I haven't seen
Okay.
any of that, because I was still brand new when I got to go. And so we went, and I gotta tell you, like right off the bat from driving up on the property, um, getting out of the car, we saw a shadow figure in the woods that ran toward the house. Um, and we are like, okay, this could be interesting. And that was even daylight when we saw it.
That's incredible.
But so we went there for a demonic haunting because, I mean, it was, if you've read the book, you kind of know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
It kind of knew you before you got there. And
Which is terrifying in its own.
yeah, I stayed in the house for about an hour and a half, maybe by myself late at night.
Oh, wow.
I kind of volunteered myself because Callahan was like, "Who wants to stay in the house while I go over to the other house?" And the house in question was it's falling apart and it's falling in on itself. It's not safe whatsoever. So I just stood in the kitchen, and you just get that weird feeling that you're being watched. But nothing happened. Just the sound of water when just dripping when I couldn't find where water is dripping, but I
So
just
do
kept.
you think people that say things like that? You think that preloads people, and then they just get weirded out because they just,
Well,
or do you think something's actually there? And
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even told you even close to anything about the place.
No, Adrian, you need to read this book. This is
Yeah,
an incredible
I,
story.
I
so
would
we
rather
went.
have somebody read it to me. Can Shauna come over and read it to me?
Well, it's a little lengthy. It's
Yeah,
very well written, though. Very well written.
And it's called The Agony That Remains.
yeah.
Yes, the agony that remains.
You keep putting it by your other books and it
I'm
disappears.
getting it. I'm getting it
No, it
ready to
goes away.
show.
It's
Hang
like
on a
it's
second.
normally well,
right.
it's actually probably on that bookcase behind me in that
It-
picture.
But yeah,
Yeah,
so
Maybe it's books on tape.
Books, maybe. Be
Maybe.
good.
it's published by Llewellyn. It may be. I'm not sure. Sorry, Jason, go ahead.
oh no, you're fine. So like I said, we went there looking for spirits and stuff like that, which we ran into, and we even got voices captured in the woods. I mean, we went down. We had to hike down to the creek, and we captured children's voices giggling and talking down there. Um, when there was no one around like that. And then by nighttime, we ran into actual Sasquatch activity all around us. Um, it was about 21 degrees outside, and we camped outside because there was nowhere to stay. So
Mhm.
we Jeremiah is the crazy mountain man. He stayed in his sleeping bag out by the campfire while we all had our tents around the fire. And it was probably like about 3 in the morning when he said he heard something heavy walk right past him. And it was on 2 feet because he's like, it's distinguishable. You can hear it and know what that is.
Mhm.
And Leo, my buddy Leo, who owns Everyday Legacy Paranormal, he hates camping, so he was awake in his tent and he was in this little tiny tent. And from the fire, he could see the silhouette of the creature walking up to him. And it started pushing down on his tent and banging on it.
Oh
And he
my
said
gosh.
it was
Wow.
just huge. And then
That's when I
it
get in my
must
car and leave.
well,
Because you're not
he
food,
went,
right?
he went around and hit all the tents. Unfortunately, he could have went over to mine, and I had my flap open so I could get the heat in. But I passed out, so I was already snoring, and I missed all that. So but I did wake up to all the screams and all the yells that were coming from the tree line.
Yeah,
And then
rude.
so soon as like the sun came up, went out there and we photographed all the footprints in the mud, and you could see it like pacing back and forth and turning in the mud. You can see where the toes are. One toe even looked deformed, like it was broken
Oh
almost.
wow.
It was very distinguishable. I mean, it was a living creature, not somebody out there. It wasn't just a flat footprint. It was like you could see the bend
Mhm.
and twirling around and pacing, and there's definitely more than one of them
Oh
that
my
were out.
gosh.
And
And
each
that's
time
down
we
around
went,
Tahlequah, is that right?
yeah, right outside.
That's
So each
wild.
time we went like a total of 6 times, and we ended up filming part of a pilot for a TV show down there.
Mhm. Oh,
Um,
cool.
and we spent 3-4 days out there doing that. And each time we went out there to visit, the creatures got closer and closer and closer to us, to the
Oh,
point where they were like 20 feet away from the RV, just staring at us, and like knelt down and just rubbing its hands in the grass and stuff.
oh,
It's
that's
crazy.
not intimidating at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah, yeah.
No
Holy
way.
cow.
And I didn't see that part, but the one time that I saw the creature, we were sitting by that fire just talking, and the house that's livable has a pole light. And I just happened to look in that direction at the house, and I saw the creature come around the bend of the house right in view of the light and was walking toward us. And I didn't even hesitate. You're asked, what do you do if you see something like that? And I
Run.
was like, I don't know, but
Run.
what I did, I smacked my friends and I took off running straight toward it.
Mhm.
Oh, so
And
you're running the wrong direction.
so I saw the creature actually turn and run to its right and went down the embankment. And by the time we got over there, you could just hear it crashing through the trees and the brush.
Oh
Now,
my gosh.
you're talking like Bigfoot type thing, right? Or you're talking like Littlefoot type
Little-
thing.
Is there a saying?
No, Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
I would imagine you probably shocked it when you ran towards it instead of running away.
Yeah,
from it.
right.
Probably.
We probably said, "Good God, look at that guy!" And it's
Yeah, because it was coming right
those
toward our direction.
people. They're so scary looking.
Run.
And while we were like off over at the house filming one evening after we just got done with dinner, so it's still kind of daylight. We weren't too far away from our campsite, and I think it was Jeremiah that left his recorder on the table next to his stove. And I don't know if he did it on purpose or he just forgot to grab it, but he had it on and recording. And it wasn't until later that he went back and listened to it. And I'll be damned if something didn't. You could hear it walk up into our camp. You can hear it on the grass, and then all of a sudden you hear like this asthmatic breathing, like hovering around, and like it was like coming around and sniffing and breathing on everything. Now, I mean,
oh wow,
there are bear sightings out there and everything, but given all the activity that we had out there and how it was like moving around us and watching us, it had to be it. And
oh my gosh.
hearing it breathing and like that asthma, it was like, you know, this weird sounding.
Was it breathing like a bear?
No,
Wild.
it didn't like huff or anything like a bear would or anything.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
this like an asthmatic breathing, like it was just like, oh, it was creepy when we heard it.
Well, I think probably my most favorite thing about when I read the book was, and it's something that my teammate Jess and I are really interested in, is ley lines, and the fact that that's how Brandon found the place. He didn't follow the stories; he actually followed the ley lines and looked in that area for something.
Right. Right.
That's cool.
Wow.
And to find that much activity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
gosh.
Cool guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really impressed. And I would encourage anybody, if you want a really good nonfiction, true, paranormal story, this is a great one. He did an excellent job writing it. It's very well written. Like I said, Llewellyn published it. So it's definitely, it's not self-published or anything. It's a great book. It's a great read.
Nice.
That's his second book too.
I know I only have one. Jess has the other one too, but I only have this one. But it was funny when I first approached Jason about being on the podcast. He mentioned Brandon Callahan, and I was like, I know that name. I have one of his books. And he's like, yeah, I was in one of his books. So I ran to my bookcase because he mentioned the name of it, and I was like, you mean this one right here? And sent him the picture of it. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I love that book.
That's kind of how I feel. I've seen him on TV a couple of times on different TV shows, talking about ley lines, or even talking about there was like a short-lived TV show about the paranormal, and they actually went to Tahlequah with him and one of the brothers. And so I'm watching this, and I see the dogs that were out there, and I can see all, I'm like, oh, we were right there. So I'm texting him, and I'm like, dude, I'm watching you on TV. And he goes, I know, it's crazy.
That's awesome.
That is.
Okay, so we're kind of talking about Bigfoot stuff. You are also involved with the Kansas Bigfoot Research Society, is that right?
Yeah, just kind of. I was part of Bigfoot in Kansas, which was another friend of mine that started that right after Tahlequah and everything that happened to us there. So him and I used to go out and kind of do just research here in Kansas, especially in western Kansas, where they were a lot of sightings have happened. We ended up casting a few prints while we were out there doing it.
Awesome.
I didn't send it to you, but I can send you a picture of a footprint. One footprint that we found at 6 o'clock in the morning as the sun's coming up. We were walking on a dirt road, and just 1 foot going the opposite direction, one print. And
just one.
Like just took a step, and that's all it needed to get across that road.
That's crazy.
Do you ever cast them?
Yeah, we got about 2 or 3 casts.
Oh, wow.
So, but he ended up, life, he's got, I think, 4 or 5 kids. So, which I can't say anything. My wife has 5 kids. So, life gets busy. Um,
Mm.
but, um, so Bigfoot in Kansas kind of died off, and that's when I just started my own. So I can get out there and do stuff on my own too, and just be a part of that part of the world of paranormal stuff.
That's awesome. We have a friend, his name's Brian Terrell. He's out of Enid, and he's really big into Bigfoot. He's with Red Dirt Cryptids,
Uh-huh.
and he is actually he'll be at Paracon again this year. So hopefully if you get to come, you'll meet him.
That sounds good.
Yeah, he's got some really fascinating stories, and he's working on a map of all of the sightings, especially
Awesome.
in the four-state area.
Yeah,
So
I love that. I
yeah,
love that.
it's really cool. He's going to be in Caney at the library. We're doing a Bordertown presents, and it's April 7th, Friday night. He's going to come up for that and try to collect some more Bigfoot stories and do a little presentation
That's
then
awesome.
too. So yeah, I love that stuff. That's right up my alley too. So
I,
you
I
guys have
always
anything?
I always freak everybody out at our events, like in Dodge, because I'll be showing, this time around, during the rotations, I did something a little different. I broke everybody up, but I also had one rotation where you get to sit down with me and listen to. I had headphones all lined up, listen to evidence, and then some photographs and everything. And
Cool.
one of the photographs is the footprint. I'm like, this has nothing to do with ghosts or the depot, but this, what do you think of this? And people
That's
just look at
awesome.
it, they're like, is this for real? And I'm like, sure it is.
I love that too because back in the day we started around 2012, which is really close to when I think the majority of everyone here started. And back then every camp was so separate. You had the Bigfoot people and the UFO people
Yeah,
and the ghost people, and nobody crossed over. But so many stories, you would hear one person tell it, and depending on who it was told to, they'd be like, oh, that this belongs in this camp. It's really all
yeah.
connected. It really truly is.
I'm
The
a
more I
ghost
talk to
guy.
people, it is.
Mm-hmm. It is, and it's really fun to see everybody coming together, more closely on that stuff
Oh, yeah.
and share more of those stories. But you did send us a little bit of evidence.
Yeah, I didn't send you a lot, but I was told by my production guy to stop showing everybody everything.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Got to keep some stuff, because the one picture I really wanted to show you was like this. I mean, I may just send it to you on Instagram anyway.
Okay.
It's just it's at the depot, and it's a one chance photograph. Um, and it's a child at the top of the stairs, but it's night
Oh, wow.
vision. It's
Mhm.
night vision, but you can see the hands on the knees, and they're just sitting there staring at you.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
and you can
That's
see through,
incredible.
but it's weird. It's weird. And everybody who sees it just goes, "Oh my God."
Wow.
I'm like, yeah.
Immediately.
As you all know, capturing anything on camera and video is like,
Right.
hard to do, but
Yeah,
when
actually
you do,
rare. Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, when you do, it's like, damn, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did send you, was it 3 pictures?
Yes.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah, okay. Very cool stories behind those too.
Which one do you want to start with?
Oh,
And
it don't matter. I'm good with either one. Any of them.
Okay. I kind of named
Paul's in charge
them.
of them. We'll let her pull them up.
So I'm going to start with the apparition because I like that one. That one's my favorite. And oh yeah, you guys can't see.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
wait.
we'll have to wait till it pops up on.
Yeah.
on
I
have to wait like
didn't
the rest
do
of the
it.
world.
I didn't share. I should have shared it on that,
Oh, okay, I see it.
but I didn't. I'm sorry.
Is that the one in the dining hall?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
So you want me to go ahead and talk about it?
Sure.
Yes, please.
All right. So that is in Ellenwood. That is at the Wolf Hotel. It's a very small dining hall, built back in the 20s. And at the time in the county, that was like one of the best restaurants. And the thing about the Wolf Hotel is that they have tunnels underneath the hotel, where there's used to be old speakeasies and everything, and now they have a working saloon down there. But my buddy Jake, he went there as a paying guest at an event, probably I think 2-3 years before he met us, and he went and stood back in the back, and you can see people sitting in the chairs. He took a series of 3 photographs, and he's a tall dude. He's like 6'5", 6'6". He's tall, so he just held his camera up high and just went snap, snap, snap. And in one of those photographs, you see what looks like. At first, we thought it was a cowboy, possibly hat, but definitely a white shirt. You can see his hands, black pants, and all that. And he knows that there was nobody there that night that was dressed like that. And it was only in one photograph, and he's a little blurred. But when we finally got a chance, that night he showed the team that was hosting that. They looked at it and just went, eh, and they moved on. And I'm like, you're kidding me. I was like, so we finally got a chance to investigate the Wolf Hotel, and we're about ready to do another public event there soon. We showed that to them, and man, several employees said, I think I know who that is.
Oh, wow. Really?
I was like, you seriously? You can make that out? But they're like, no, seriously. I guess there was a gentleman who was a chef. He worked in the kitchen, and he would wear the white shirt, black pants, and instead of a cowboy hat, they think that that's a tray that he's holding
Oh.
coming out to the dining hall.
Oh,
And I'm
wow.
like, and they even have a black and white photo of him with a lot of other people. Now the dining hall has quite the history to it. Now that person, that the worker that is in that picture, I guess, he was shot, but he was shot in the foot. He was shot in the foot.
Oh, okay.
A disgruntled customer pulled out a gun and shot him in the foot.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh my gosh.
But the main story is about that dining hall is, and they keep a chair seated and reserved for him still. Back in the 1920s, a gentleman came into town by himself, well dressed. He ordered his meal, the most expensive drink, a cigar. He sat there all evening until the place was ready to close, and he's the last one in there. And they said he kept fumbling with his jacket. Well, as the waitress said, hey, take your time and finish eating, but we're closing up. So she left the room. They never heard it, but when they came back, he was slumped over and he had shot himself. He pulled out a gun and shot himself. Come to find out, I guess through a letter that they found, his wife was leaving him.
Oh.
And he was just heartbroken and shot himself. The bullet hole is still in the ceiling today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I took pictures of it too. It's sad. So
That is sad.
they keep a spot for him at the table.
Oh.
If you ever get a chance to go out there, it's not a huge hotel. It's very small, but just the history itself is pretty cool.
Wow. That is sad.
It is sad.
At first we thought we captured him in that photograph. Because they said he had a cowboy hat when he was there, but they pretty much think that that's a guy holding a coming out with a
tray.
With a tray. But
oh man,
wow. Either way, it's pretty cool.
Pretty sad.
It is pretty sad. You said that was in Ellenwood? Is that what you said?
Ellenwood, Kansas. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
The hotel, you kind of, if you blink, you miss it. You just kind of round the corner and you drive right past it. But it's a really cool place, though.
Y'all writing that down?
Right? Taking notes over here.
I think we have it recorded.
Oh, yeah, we do have it recorded. I'm sorry, Jason. What were you saying?
Definitely go downstairs in the tunnels underneath the city.
Yeah.
And go to the saloon and have a drink. But there, I mean, you can get a tour of the place and everything too.
Wow, nice.
Cool. That is awesome.
The next one I'm going to show is the footprint.
Okay, the footprint. The footprint. That's in the old Dodge Theater. There in Dodge City, of course. What's famous about that place is that back when, you know, Earl Flynn, the guy who played Robin Hood in the tights and all that, he filmed a movie called Dodge City. So the one and only time Hollywood premiered a movie other than in Hollywood, they went all the way to Dodge City to premiere it. So Earl Flynn and all the actors rode the train out to Dodge City, and there's photographs of thousands of people surrounding the Depot Theater, which is now the Depot Theater, it's just the Depot, surrounding that and waiting for them to come in. And they premiered it at the old Dodge Theater. What's sad is the theater now is it's just falling apart, covered in mold and black mold and all that. Yeah, it's bad. They were trying to like get people in there to buy it and renovate it and stuff, but when they opened it up, it was closed for 14 years, and we were the first to go in with them because they said when people took it over, when they walked in, they said they noticed these barefoot footprints in the dust, in the dirt, all over the place. And all the chairs and all the, there in the main auditorium are covered in dust. And so they were just a little freaked out. Why is there these bare feet, walking around when this place has been locked up, chained up? No one's getting in there, and why in the world would you be barefoot walking around in there?
Right.
Yep.
So we got in there and we set it up and we started investigating. Now we always take note of everything around us to make sure if there's changes. So we checked every aisle to make sure everything, we don't see anything. There's, it's just layers of dust. As the night went through, we started noticing like little handprints, like on the chairs, multiplying everywhere, like we're being watched. And little handprints like this down on the ground, like in weird positions, like a child, like it's just kneeling down and peeking between the chairs.
Oh wow!
And then a strange looking, I would say it's a female's shoe, like maybe back in the 30s. Walking and pacing around through the aisles, and it just started multiplying everywhere we were.
Wow.
Yeah, we've got tons of photographs. Little handprints on the walls, on the sides of the railing. That place was fascinating.
These are buildings that I would love to be able to try to get people out to, and maybe do like a little history lesson for them and get some money for the building.
I know, yeah.
Because just to see these things falling apart is it's just kind of disgusting, because you sit there and look at these buildings and they're like amazing, and then you go inside and they're falling apart, and it's so sad, because then you see across the street a modern building that's just bleh.
Right. It doesn't have any character.
The last time we were actually in that old Dodge Theater, we were even asking ourselves, why are we in here? Because there's mold and mildew and everything on the walls, and we're just like kind of covering our faces up a little bit.
This feels really unhealthy.
It actually really was unhealthy for us to be in there, but we kept getting more and more evidence the more we were there. But that's the first photograph that was taken by the owner at the time, Mark. He's not there anymore. He was running the distillery. Now he's like running other distilleries in other states. But he took that photograph and sent it to me. He's like, "You've got to come here and check this out." It's like everybody here is freaked out.
Now, is that an adult size footprint or a child size? Somebody was asking Jessica Holman was asking, why was there one big footprint?
That's the thing. Why? I don't know.
Just that one.
Yeah. But we did find more, that were in unison with each other. But why in that one spot?
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Man.
One-legged ghost, I guess. Yeah.
Right.
At the hospital that we never talk about, but we seem to bring it up all the time. We've run into barefoot prints in there too.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Because I wouldn't walk there with bare feet.
I wouldn't either. No.
It makes you wonder.
Right? A former patient would. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. You're right. So, especially on the 5th floor. No. Okay. So the next image is going to be the thermal image.
Yeah. I always like that one. Just because I don't know if you remember Ghost Hunters when they were at Eureka Springs at the what's the name of that hotel? Sorry.
Crescent.
Crescent. Self-proclaimed most haunted hotel. But when Ghost Hunters was there at the Crescent, they had that one image of a thermal of up against the locker, So I saw this, this is in Wilson, Kansas, and we were doing a public event, and this gentleman was like, we were down in the basement. It's a cellar, and he's up against the wall, and he kept saying, there's somebody poking me in my left shoulder, and there's nobody behind him but the wall. So Jake's wife, Elizabeth, turned the thermal and pointed at the guy and caught this image, and you can see the figure standing right behind him.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
There's nobody there.
He's not showing warm either, is he?
Yeah.
That's the one in purple.
Oh, wow. That is freaky.
Because the more yellow and orange.
Looking at the graph, the one side shows the hot to the cold. So the one's cold. So
down there in that cellar, we were able to find that there's at least two gentlemen that are down there, and they're not afraid of like throwing rocks at you and stuff, like to get out.
Wow.
They're not, evil or anything. They're just annoyed that we were bringing people down there, I think.
Probably, yeah.
So
they throw rocks at you or just towards you? That's a question I always ask. Seriously.
The first time it happened, I think it just missed some teammates and it hit the wall and pinged off. And
it's not like at you. Yeah.
So I went down there with Jake to show him because he'd never been down there before the event. And as soon as we got down there, a rock got chucked at us.
Oh gosh.
Wow. Okay.
And there was nobody down there. So
wow. It's like a big old F you don't come in here kind of thing, huh?
and we had the lights all on and everything. It just flew.
Wow. Jeez.
Like not you guys again, kind of thing.
Not you again.
Interrupting their poker game down there, right?
Oh gosh.
That's wild.
That is crazy.
Those are some really compelling photos.
I wanted to send a lot more. I could have sent a lot more too.
Yeah. That's all right.
Well, there's a Facebook page if you want to share. Oh gosh, you got some interesting stories. I want to go to every one of these places.
I do too. And so that kind of brings me around to this. So Jason, where can we find you, or where can everyone that's listening find you?
Right now I'm in my car trying to make it home. I pulled off at the side of the road.
No harassing. I'm
watching this guy fish right now. So
we
are based out of Wichita. We're on Facebook. We got a website. It's rtpkansas.com. I love it. It's we're all can't even talk. I'm getting tired. Our whole team's based out of Wichita, except for a few members that are up in Wamego. Got a husband and wife there, and then I got a couple people out in Dodge City that kind of help us out on either end of the state. But we go just about anywhere. We've actually got invited to go back in 2019 to the Bigfoot Festival in Marion, North Carolina, to do some
Nice.
speaking out there. Ended up investigating a farmhouse out there with some very
Cool.
mischievous. It used to be like an all boys boarding house, and talk about mischievous, not in a bad way. It was kind of comical, but
Uh,
very mischievous. I've never had through the spirit. I just got to tell you this one real quick.
oh, you're
Through the
fine.
spirit box, my buddy Roth, he found me back in 2013 because he saw me on the news promoting the ghost tours, and I had just worked third shift, and then went to the news station, did the thing live, and then I was trying to go home and sleep. But this guy who I don't know just kept blowing up my phone, and finally got a hold of him, and I was just like, "What can I do for you?" And he's like, "I just need to talk about ghosts." Well, he was just interested. We met. We've been best friends ever since. But everywhere we go, his name gets called out.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
His name is Roth. You think it's Roth, but it's Roth. And it even says his name correctly. Someone is
Wow.
always trying to get a hold of him.
That's cool.
And we'll get a voice that comes through and says, "Where's Roth?" Well, we were at the farmhouse in North Carolina where he's never been. And he's outside having a cigarette, and I'm sitting out there too with him. And everyone comes downstairs and says, "Hey, Roth, you're getting called out upstairs." He goes,
What?
"Why?"
Uh,
So he goes upstairs, and they're like, "It's a child's voice."
Oh,
So
wow.
he goes upstairs, and he goes, "All right, I'm here." And the voice goes, "Chair, sit down." And he goes,
Bossy.
"There's a rocking chair right there." He goes, "All right, I'll play along." He goes over there, and as he sits down, I kid you not, through the spirit box, it goes
That's awesome.
like a whoopee cushion.
Oh,
And he's
that
just
is
there like, and
awesome.
he's just like, "Are you serious?
Fine.
You brought me up here to do that?"
That is
Oh,
hilarious.
I'll be like,
That was
hey, that's
like,
perfect.
it was classic. It was so awesome.
Oh,
But
wow.
no
I have a
spirit,
question for you.
Oh,
the
he was
So
finishing.
when we're talking about, you go different places, Roth's name gets called, whether he's there or not, where's he
yeah,
at? What is your opinion on, do you feel like there's, when it comes to ghosts or it comes to spirits, is there like a connection somewhere where they're everywhere all the time? Or what are your thoughts on that?
I truly believe they're everywhere. And also that, like I tell all the guests that come to our events, I said, what you might encounter tonight with all of our equipment, especially spirit boxes and stuff like that, it may not be the spirits that are here in the building. It may be somebody who's connected to you, and they're taking the opportunity to talk to you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because we even had that, there at the very end, when the mother was talking to the daughter through Jake.
Yep.
And it just blew everybody away. And I said, "See, I told you." And I always warn everybody, I said, it can be emotional if somebody you love or knew comes through. Like
Yeah.
I was in Nest City doing an event, and as we were doing this spirit box session, a former Mason up that was on from because the third floor of the building used to be a Mason area, and they still have all the pictures of the leaders of each
Mm-hmm.
chapter throughout the years. And we go back down to the second level where there's vaults because it's a former bank. And when we were doing it, this Jake's like saying, he goes, "Oh, this is an older woman coming through," and just says a girl's name, and she's sitting right there, and it was her grandmother coming through, and
Wow.
she got so sad, but yet loved it. But then sitting next to her was her boyfriend, and his ex-girlfriend came through, and he just said, "Nope,
Oops.
no, I'm not going there," because apparently she died, and it must have been suicide, I guess.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
wow.
And he said, "No, not having it." But
Oh.
as I'm standing there, Jake kind of goes, "Oh, this is a different voice now," and the voice goes, "I'm here to talk to you." And I said, "Oh, okay. Who you
Ah.
who you talking to?" And he goes, "You." I said, "Me? Um, do I know you?" He goes, "Come on, Jason. You know me."
Wow.
Oh,
And I
chill.
That's
said,
not freaky.
and I was like, I'm thinking to myself, and I said, "Jeffrey, is that you?" Say, I had a friend of mine who died um, back in January of 22 of a heart
Oh.
of a heart attack. Same age. I've known him since kindergarten. Best friends growing up, and I was his best man. And well, I said, "Jeffrey, is that you?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Do you know how many people miss you and love you?" He goes, I know."
Oh.
And then
Wow.
I tried to turn it to see if he would react, and I said, "Is it true you got so upset during the Kansas City game that you got so mad and got and pissed that you went to bed?" And he goes, "Well, that's what everybody would think." And then
Oh.
I stopped and I said, "You do realize that Kansas City came back and won that game, right?" He goes, "That was some shit."
How
So,
cool.
I said, "Buddy, we love you and miss you, and I hope you come back around on these adventures." He goes, "I will." And
Nice.
he'd been on some of my events before and everything, so he kind of knew what I did.
Hmm.
And
Was
just
that
How
knowing,
cool is that?
yeah,
was that all
yeah,
through a spirit box?
yeah,
Wow, that's
Wow.
full
I love
sentences. That's amazing. Yeah.
I know.
Oh, that is
Um,
amazing.
Listening to Jake and I have conversation, it's amazing sometimes
Yeah.
what we'll have. And I try not to talk very loud, but I can hear it from his headphones, so I know he's deaf and can't hear anything from
Hmm.
because it's blaring in his ears.
Right.
So
Wow.
Oh man.
That's incredible.
Wow. You have an amazing life ahead. And maybe one of these days A.M.O.K can get with you and your crew and do some awesome investigating because
absolutely, I'd love
That would be
to.
fun.
it would be awesome. Maybe we can take you to Arkansas to that hospital we can't name.
Yeah, we don't talk about.
That we don't talk about. I'm sorry, that we don't talk
That
about.
we talk about every show, but we don't talk about.
We don't talk about it, but we talk about it all the time.
Right.
That's okay. There's places I can't talk about, but I still do anyway.
Right? Some
Well,
of
you're
them
not
are just
naming
so
the name.
amazing
You're
you
not putting
can't.
any anonymity.
There are
You're good.
places in Tahlequah you were talking about that I'm not
Yes.
talk about that I've been to. So yeah, it's a pretty cool area.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I don't go in the woods. I don't do that.
He doesn't like to be
it's
food.
it's a pretty weird out there.
I'll
Jess
go.
pointed out she's in our chat and she said this was a while back when we were talking about Tahlequah, that Tahlequah actually has 5 ley lines that cross right over it, and yeah, it does, which is really incredible.
Wow. That is awesome.
No wonder there's a lot of activity right through there.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, maybe we can figure out who owns the Broken Bow that has the old asylum or something like that there?
Something
Anyway,
like that.
I'll
That'd
look
be
it
cool.
up. I'll
That'd be
look it
cool.
up. But
That's someplace fun.
yeah, it was awesome. It's 8 o'clock already.
It is, yeah.
It
And
did definitely fly by.
it did fly by. We might have to get you back on to share some more of your stories because that was interesting. We could let you talk the whole hour.
Hey,
More.
I love talking. So I love telling stories.
I have
That's
talked
what
to him about
Mm.
coming to Bordertown Paracon. So all of us that are in the chat or actually on here right now will be there. So yeah, if
That'd
you
be
can
Yep.
make it, that'd be great.
That would be
I would love
awesome.
to come there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so
Super
much for
exciting.
being on the show. And he already shouted out his creds and where he's at. So
Yeah, we
watching
absolutely
somebody fish.
appreciate it. It was
Great
great to meet you
stories.
too.
It
Thank you
Great
so
was.
much.
stories.
You guys should come and ride my ghost tour in Wichita.
That would
Yes.
be cool.
It's a 2-hour bus tour. You can even bring drinks on there if you want and have a little party.
How
Nice.
fun.
Yeah. So, but
That'd be awesome.
we do when the season kicks in, we do 2 a night. So it's
Oh,
about 4 hours
wow.
of talking. So
Did you say you
I'm
do
always
TMI? I do TMI all the time. I get in trouble.
2 and 9.
Am I hearing that right?
Winter.
Never
When,
mind.
when is the season? When does the season start?
it's kicking off in August this year.
August.
Cool.
Oh, my birthday is on the 18th, y'all.
Oh, there we go.
Was
I'll
that
have
a
to-
shameless
I'll have to
plug?
send you the dates.
It was a shameless plug.
Wow.
Funny.
So, do they go through November or what? Jason?
This year we actually are going to go to the first weekend in November,
Okay.
just because it sold out so quickly this past year. It was the first year where I took over my own tours and developed it with my team, and it's kind of like based on our investigations and our own historical research of everything in Wichita and Delano and all that. And man, everybody ate it up. We kick off at River City Brewery Company, so you can go in and eat and have some drinks, and then come out into the bus and we take off, and it's pretty cool.
Right up my alley.
That is awesome. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, we might have to work on that one.
oh, definitely.
I
send you
think
the
so.
dates. I'll send you the dates for it.
Yeah,
Sweet.
that'd be great. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you
And
so
we did
much.
talk
again.
about
Go ahead.
Yeah, we did talk about Brandon's book. I will put a link up to it too on the website, or not on Facebook. I mean,
Yep.
so everybody can see what it is, because it's a great read.
Yeah,
you
we
guys.
don't have a website yet. We're working on that.
Yeah.
Right, Adrian?
Well,
Dang it, Adrian.
I started a part-time job so I can afford things. So maybe.
I
No
might can do
kidding.
a little something here. Add it like a link to my website. Anywho.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for being on the show. We so appreciate
Very
it.
much.
And
Thank
it
you
was
for having me.
awesome. It was absolutely awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Adrian, who are you having next week?
Next week, I have Caroline Spear from the Fort Smith Museum of History, and we're going to talk about some of the going on that has happened in that building and around this wonderful town of Fort Smith. I do want to talk about an upcoming event in Falk, Arkansas, the Falk Monster Festival. And right now, if you buy their tickets, you can get a 15% off when you go to the link. When you go to the Falk Monster Festival site, you click the link, and when you actually go to the ticket place, it'll have a code for it, and it is 20 off, all one word, 20 lowercase OFF, and you get a 20% off of your ticket price. So that's a good buy. It's only good till the 27th at 10 o'clock. So you're gonna do it now, and maybe you'll see me down there.
Ooh, I might have to go.
Well, that's 20%
Sounds
off.
fun.
Right?
There you go.
Right.
Well, thank
we'll
you.
be talking to Caroline Spear next week, and it should be a real fun show. So
Awesome.
and that's a great place.
Yes. Awesome. Well, until
Looking
next
forward
week,
to
y'all.
it.
Same time, same channel. See y'all later. Bye.
In the dark. All right. Bye.
Bye, Jason. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.